Hi, it's Susan Kennedy here, and I have another question that I want to talk about today. I don't know that I'll answer it, but ask yourself this question. Why are you so freaking nice? Now, if you're not nice, you don't have to answer that. But what I find in people who are so freaking nice is that there's ulterior motives behind their niceness, and often they don't even realize it. Um, I looked up the definition of nice because I'm not saying don't be kind. I'm not saying don't intentionally try to hurt someone, but being nice is not the same as being kind, which is like being considerate or not. I'm gonna read it. Careful not to cause inconvenience or hurt to others. Now, I grew up in a household where no matter what I did, I felt like I was hurting someone, so I learned to anticipate everybody's needs and desires and wants. And when I tiptoed around doing what I thought in my head wouldn't hurt or offend another person, it's almost like a story I was making up. Because I don't know if what I would have done would have hurt or offended them, even though years down the road I realized that it wouldn't have. It would have been better for everyone concerned. So, where are you being nice? Where you really want to say or do or choose something else? A lot of years I chose, I didn't choose, I agreed to vacations or jobs even that I would rather have done something different, but I didn't speak up. And so it is like a self-betrayal when you're being nice, but only when, if you have an intention to hurt someone, that's a whole different ballgame. But when you're guessing, like it's like the political correctness thing. I can't guess what's going to offend another person. I don't intentionally try to offend other people. So the honest truth is when you don't intend something, then it's the burden is on the other person who feels the whatever you feel. You know, your feelings are your own and they're not caused by anybody else. And that's a whole nother conversation. It's caused by your perception of what they may or may not have thought. But so when you are just being normal and your normal loving self and you offend another person, it's up to them to come to you and say, I'm sorry, what you said offended me. Could we talk about it? It's not up to you to guess what might or might not offend somebody. Think how much time and energy that consumes. Okay? So I want to share this tip with you. No one lives to anyone's values but their own. We all have a unique set of highest values that if we're aware of them and we choose correctly, we can have that guide our lives. So many people aren't aware of that. So many people don't know what theirs are. And so they're just guided by everybody else's whims. And generally, I saw my husband living by his values once I realized. And all the things that happened earlier in our marriage were not intended to hurt me. He was just living by his values. It was up to me to say something, and I didn't. So what I'm saying is if you are trying to live in someone else's values, you're going to be upset. But you're doing this by being kind, and I'm not kind, by being nice at times when you really want to say or do something else. So I really want you to look at your life and find out, when you walk by someone and you're polite, that's one thing. But when you're with the people that you know and love, and you're not showing up truly as who you are, you tend to be kind because you don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to upset anybody. You're afraid it will hurt somebody's feelings. That is exhausting. Let me tell you, I lived that way for many, many years. I remember an example in corporate America. I was a marketing manager for education services, and I had a vice president call and ream me out on the phone. Our own vice president. What had happened is some people who were supposed to show up for a training class showed up at the wrong place. Now, I didn't have anything to do with that, and I took it personally, and it really bothered me for a long time. And then I found out like a month later that he only did that because he was in the room with the customer's vice president and wanted to show that he was on top of it. Well, so I should have said something to him. I should have gone in, made an appointment with him, and said, hey, you yelled at me the other day on the phone. That's totally unacceptable. But I didn't do that. Instead, I shrank, and because I was avoiding anger. You know, other people's anger is exactly that. Other people's anger. It's never about you. I mean, unless you intentionally, some people do this. Some people try to rile people up. That's a whole different thing. I'm just talking about normal life. When you're angry, it's your anger. What is it you want? What is it you need to say? Not the angry stuff, but I mean, I was angry a lot years ago, and I didn't say what I wanted to say. Instead, I got mad. You know, I've seen women. I had a client. I don't know why my husband won't take out the trash. I tell him, take out the trash, take out the trash. She goes on and on and on. And I said, have a discussion with him. Say, I would like for you to do this. But I asked her too. I said, can you take out the trash? She said, well, I can, but I think he should do it. So you have to look at your motives and look at your tone of voice. You know, that tone of voice doesn't get a lot of cooperation, does it? So anyway, I've learned if I want my son to take out the trash, I say, Cameron, would you take out the trash, please? Now. Have to add that now if I want it done now. So anyway, it's interesting to me to see when people aren't living in their values. And you can tell if you're depressed, if you're angry, if you are blaming others for your circumstances, if you are criticizing others, if you're even in your mind, if you're critical, you know, it's because you're judging yourself, because you're not living according to your highest values. So today's question is, why are you so freaking nice? Be real. That's all we want. We want to see the real you. The other thing to consider when you are being so freaking nice is you are denying yourself. You are creating a situation inside yourself that's not congruent, and therefore it causes some kind of friction. And a lot of times people get upset with themselves for not returning food or not speaking up for themselves. So I just want to leave this with you. John DeMartini, one of my most awesome teachers, he says that there is a law of lesser pissers that he's lived by most of his life. And that is, would I rather piss off the whole world or piss off myself, the one that I have to live with? Think about it.